Nowadays, how important is technical knowledge versus passion for finance or passion for any industry?
I think both are important. Technical knowledge backed up by passion. Because if you're working in renewable, technology is something you cannot avoid.
Correct.
If you don't know what is kilowatt versus kilowatt hour, if you don't know what is power purchase agreement versus power sales agreement, this technical knowledge has to be backed up by your passion. You should have that passion for renewables. Unless that is there, you will not be able to. What most people don't understand, even new technologies like artificial intelligence, data centers, cryptocurrency, they are power guzzlers. The power consumed by these new industries is more than the power which is consumed by a country like India. So people need to understand that.
Alright, so today we have a special guest, Mr. Nitin Mittal with us. He is a serial entrepreneur with rich experience in renewable energy sector. He is founder of Climate Care, has worked across solar, wind and even green hydrogen. He is also a former DRDO scientist and alumni of IIM Kozhikode and NIT Silchar. On top of that, he has traveled to over 50 countries and every single state and union territory in India. So welcome Mr. Nitin.
Thank you.
So to start off, could you please tell us a bit about your journey and what inspired you to start Climate Care?
Okay, so I'm a mechanical engineer from NIT and an MBA finance from IIM Kozhikode. The idea to start Climate Care was because one thing, I had a very strong background in renewables, but more than that, I had a very unique position because I was at the confluence of technology as well as finance. So I had worked in both technology side and financial side. And the idea was to basically get structured investment grade thought process into clean energy. So if you see renewable area today, it was not the same around 15 years back. It was pretty new to bankers, to stakeholders, to investors, developers, everyone. So idea was to basically get into a domain where you could bring that confidence into everyone's mind and you could basically help developers and EPC contractors win projects and a great IRR on their investment.
Okay. So normally now when you basically interview freshers or early career professionals, what are the top qualities and skills that you are looking for?
I think the very first thing I would look at is clarity of thought. They should know what we are doing and why we are doing. This is serious business because a lot of money is at stake. Developers are putting in money in not millions, in fact billions of dollars.
Correct.
And unless you understand this space, it wouldn't make sense. Number two, learnability. Because the dynamics is pretty strong. I mean, what works today will not work tomorrow. Technology keeps changing. Models keeps changing. So you have to work in such a way that you know the industry. You keep an idea of what's going to come next. But more than learnability, what is important? Relearnability. A lot of times, whatever you are doing, it will vanish. It will go out of fashion and new things will arise. For example, like we are working on solar, we are working on wind. But if you see last 6 months, there has been less focus on solar. Suddenly battery energy storage has started coming up. But we knew 1 year back that battery storage is going to come up in a big way. Maybe 2 to 3 years down the line, green hydrogen will come up in that fashion. So learnability, relearnability, clarity of thought. I think these are the things.
Okay. Nowadays, how important is technical knowledge versus passion for finance or passion for any industry?
I think both are important. Technical knowledge backed up by passion. Because if you're working in renewable, technology is something you cannot avoid.
Correct.
If you don't know what is kilowatt versus kilowatt hour, if you don't know what is power purchase agreement versus power sales agreement, you will not be able to comprehend the basics of the industry. But This technical knowledge has to be backed up by your passion. You should have that passion for renewables. Unless that is there, you will not be able to grow.
So, are there any common mistakes students make during interviews that you would advise them to avoid?
See, a lot of candidates, they come up with their own thought process. So they know formulas, okay, they know free cash flow to firm, PAT plus depreciation, plus minus change in working capital, minus capex. They know what's free cash flow to equity. But they don't feel the numbers. They just know the formulas. They need to get into a domain where they can feel the number. They can understand what this number means. So I would say clarity of thought again. They need to have much more clarity on whatever they are doing and why they are doing. Second, they need to understand each industry is different. In some industry, IRR would make better sense. In some industry, it could be ROC, return on capital employed. Somewhere profit margin would work. Somewhere liquidity or free cash flow would work better. So they need to understand why we are doing what we are doing. I think that's the only thing.
And what are some emerging trends in industry that young professionals should know or should watch closely?
See, from renewable perspective, there was solar earlier, wind was there. Renewable industry is here to stay, but it will keep on changing shapes. If they would understand, there have been new models like round the clock RTC, because renewable is in form. So, for example, solar is in the morning. It's not in the evening. Wind might be a mix of morning plus evening, but there are round the clock models where you will get renewable power throughout the day. Then there is FDRE, but more than that, there are like battery energy storage, which has come up in a large way and it is going to stay. Green hydrogen. What most people don't understand, even new technologies like artificial intelligence, data centers, cryptocurrency, they are power guzzlers. The power consumed by these new industries is more than the power which is consumed by a country like India. So people need to understand that they need to understand these trends. They need to understand that power is here to stay. It's a long-term bet, not a short-term.
So, what advice would you give to a students who passionate about investment banking but unsure how to break into it?
I would say go for some real projects, financial modeling for some projects. If possible, try to be part of any transactional project where assets are being sold or procured. Try to be part of valuation, due diligence team for some project, wherever they are, whichever industry they are into, because that would give you basics of, you can say, finance, investment banking. So once you get into it, then you will get there.
How can education institutions or training program better prepare students for career in finance?
No, I think what education institutes are doing or training programs they're doing pretty good. The only thing I would say is to add an industry interface to it. For example, take them to real projects. It could be real estate, it could be renewable, it could be infrastructure. What happens, students, they understand, they feel the difference, how different industries work. Just think of a real estate where a developer or a builder, he gets his money just after starting the project, so he will get tranches. Versus renewable, where you don't start getting your money unless project is over. Versus some other project. So each industry, each domain is very different. So yes, you have learned numbers, you know how to do valuation, you have compared firms 5-year, you have their 5-year data, you have extrapolated to next 10 years, you have done discounted cash flow. But now it's time to use it in practicality. So go to industry, check how it works in different industries. Every industry is different.
Okay. Finally, what's one mindset or approach that you believe every young aspirant should have?
I think passion. He needs to have passion that I have to do this, I have to learn it. As long as you have passion and you have learnability, everything else will fall in place. And of course, third thing, which is most important, is common sense, which is quite uncommon. So if you have it, I think the rest everything will fall in place.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.